Hey guys, Sav here, and today I want to talk about the Dragon Stand meta. And I know what I said in my last video, that was actually the last video of my Let's Play series. This will actually be the last video of my Let's Play series, at least for the near future. Season 3 of the Living Story should be out in, I'm guessing, 2 to 3, maybe 4 months, we'll see. And that's when my Let's Play will return. But we will talk about that in a video tomorrow, as I do kind of like a recap video. But anyway, Dragon Stand meta. Dragon Stand map is basically just a meta map. There's really nothing else to it. It is just one big giant meta event. All the events on this map are tied to the giant meta event. It resets every 2 hours, and every 2 hours, if you are on the map and it's reset time, you get kicked out. I believe it runs on the half hours, so it's like 8. So normally when I would play, if I was to play, it would be 8:30 p.m. to 10:30 p.m. However, the map also kicks you out 15 minutes after the boss has been defeated. So once you defeat the boss, you have 15 minutes to do whatever you got to do. If you have to do some map exploration, if you have to buy stuff from vendors, whatever, you have 15 minutes, and then you're booted out of the map. This also works in that if your meta event is taking longer than usual, as long as you start the boss event before the 2 hours has expired, you will be able to complete the boss event before you get kicked out of the map, and then you'll have 15 minutes after the boss event is complete before you get kicked out of the map. So that can extend some maps, you know, however long until it takes to beat the meta event, beat the boss. The map's laid out with 3 lanes, north, mid, and south. I believe south is considered the harder lane. Basically, you're going to run through a series of, you're going to run down each of these lanes through a series of basically camp locations, or checkpoints, if you will. And you'll create new camp locations at all these different checkpoints, and they're kind of marked on your map with waypoints. So there's a waypoint at all the different maps you're going to go to, or not maps, all the different camps that you're going to basically create. Along the way, you're going to rally allies, whether it's Skrit, whether it's Beetles, whether it's Hylic, allies of that nature. I believe you can also get Golems, and you can also get Exalted to join you as well, depending on what lane you're in. All 3 lanes are basically the same idea. They just have different, different allies that you're rallying and different boss enemies that you're fighting. There's 3 different There's a Blade Master, a Stave Master, and an Axe Master. I forget their names. And there's 1 in each lane. I believe South has the Axe Master, and I believe he's considered the most difficult. And maybe that's why South is considered more difficult. Okay, so as you're going down these lanes, you're going to fight those bosses twice. You're also going to fight Mordrum Spitfires. They're basically, you've all seen them in videos before. They're basically these worm-looking things that come up out of the ground. You have to take them down. Actually, I believe you have to take them down to secure certain camps, if I'm not mistaken. Once that's all finished, at the bottom of each lane is a Blighting Tower. Inside the Blighting Tower is a platform in the middle, and then a circle, basically a circle around the platform that you're going to have to run around. You're going to break your your big lanes are into 2 groups, and the one group's going to consist of 10 people who are going to fight the boss on the platform, and the other group is going to be the Zerg. They're going to run around in that circle and kill veteran Mordrum Preservers. These Preservers will basically preserve pods, and these pods, basically, if they're active, if they're up, the boss is immune. You can't attack the boss. He doesn't take any damage. So your goal is, so basically, when you first run in, you're going to run in as 2 groups, the 10 and then the Zerg. The Zerg will take out the Preserver, and the 10 will take out the pod. and you'll go around the circle, and there's 3 pods that you have to take out initially. Once all 3 of those pods are taken out, and once all 3 preservers are taken out, and then all 3 pods are taken out, then the 10 people who are taking out the pods will now go fight the boss. And the Zerg's job is to kill the preservers as they spawn. If the preservers are not killed and they return to the pod location, they will basically almost immediately respawn a pod. If 1 pod is up, then the boss is immune again and does not take damage. So you'll have to either kill the pod again and let the Zerg continue doing it, or you may have to. A lot of times I've seen just complete resets of a lane because of that happening. If you defeat the boss, once you defeat the boss, you have to wait for the other lanes to finish their boss. So all 3 bosses have to be dead before you can continue. The problem in here lies if you kill your boss and you're waiting for the other lanes to kill their boss, and the Zerg doesn't happen to kill one of the preservers, and the preserver spawns the pod again. Once that 1 pod is up again, the boss revives, and the boss has full health, and you have to fight the boss again. So it can be a bit of a pain. However, it's also not overly difficult, and it doesn't take a ton of coordination, just basically some map chat coordination. My suggestion if you're going into a Dragon Stand map is you taxi in using the LFG tool, and you find an organized Dragon Stand who has 3 commander tags, at minimum 3 commander tags, 1 for each lane, so that there's at least that minimum amount of coordination going on. And that's basically really all you need. The commanders will usually find 10 people for the boss group, and will coordinate. Sometimes there's another person with a commander tag, and they can take that and be the boss group, or you'll just split into 10 people in a separate group in the squad UI. Anyway, once all 3 of the Blighting Towers the bosses inside the Blighting Towers are defeated, you will go on to find the final boss, and the final boss is the Mouth of Mordremoth. And basically, this is your big dragon battle if you were looking for it. After the story, once in the story, you saw that you kind of fought this big fat looking dude who was maybe double your height, and you're in his mind, I guess. And everybody kind of goes, well, where's our big dragon battle? We're fighting an elder dragon here. He has to be humongous, and we're not just fighting him inside his brain. Well, this is your big dragon battle, and technically, it's not Mordremoth, but it gives you kind of that satisfaction of the big dragon fight. At least it did for me. And to be honest with you, I think it's awesome. I think it looks amazing. I think it's fun. It's easy. It's basically on par easy as the Battle of Zaitan, but it's cooler. It's a group event, a large group event. I kind of like it personally, and I think it helps make up for what the story lacked a little bit. So your object fighting the Mouth of Mordremoth is you're on these condensed ley energy islands. I could be mistaken that there's 8 of them, I believe. And he will basically take turns attacking each one of these islands. And there's different phases of the battle. There's phases where his face will drop in and do something, and you can kind of hit his face. There's a hitbox for his face, and his body will be over another platform, so people on that platform can hit his body. The longer these phases go on, the more ley energy he will absorb, and the more ley energy he absorbs, the closer you get to actually failing the battle. I've personally never seen a fail battle. I don't think they actually exist, but it actually gives you something to push for, I guess, so you guys don't just stand there and play it yourselves and not actually do the meta event. There's other phases as well. There's what's called the bomb phase, where his face again will come down, and there will be crashed helicopters, and you have to get the bombs from the crashed helicopters, and you glide across all the islands to wherever his face is and drop the bombs on his face. If you're on the island with his face and you're attacking his face, you have to break his break bar to try to keep him there longer so that more people can drop bombs on him. That's one of the burn phases, quote unquote. There's another phase where you again have to fight the 3 bosses from the lanes, the Stave Master, Blade Master, and Axe Master. and they will be wrapped. The island that they are on will be wrapped in a coil of the Mouth of Morgemort's body, and the only way to get him to, you know, get this phase to end is to beat the different bosses. If you don't, they can destroy an island. Obviously, there'll be a big boost to the amount of light energy consumed by the Mouth of Morgemort, and so on. Once the battle is done and the boss is defeated, you get your loot, and then you have 15 minutes to explore the map and open up some more noxious pods and whatever else you'd like to do if you have to do some map exploration and so forth. And guys, that's basically Dragon's Den. It's a fun map. Part of me dislikes it just because you have to do it on the schedule and you can't just do it like whenever you want. Like Silver Waste, you can go in at basically any time in Silver Waste and find a map at any level, you know, of completion. This map's not quite like that. You have to be in at certain times and be done at certain times and so forth. Guys, that's it for this video today. It's basically it for my Let's Play for at least the near future. I hope you guys enjoyed my video, and I will see you next time.
Don't let the creature get away! Up the tree, quickly!
No need! It's dying! We got it! Mine. All mine.